Thank God he did not press record just before I did that. Hello everybody and Merry Christmas. The Q&A is back. Angelina is back alongside me. We've got loads of your questions to get through on this most festive of days. Do you want to crack on with it?
Okay, so first question is from Adichia Verma. Do you think Thomas Müller got left out in the FIFA Best 11? I personally think he should have been in place of Thiago or De Bruyne. And also, do you think Klopp deserved to win Best Manager ahead of Flick? I know you've got some opinions on this, shall we say?
Yeah, last week on the Daily News, you guys let me know that I was bitter about Klopp winning it. Okay, let's get that out of the way quickly.
Explain yourself.
Klopp won it last year because he won the Champions League. So this year, when Hansi Flick wins the Champions League, the Bundesliga and the German Cup, how did he not win it? That makes no sense whatsoever. Flick should have won it, but Klopp deserved second for me. As for Müller being left out, I had this conversation the other day. Do you think the team is based on just the players and the positions or how they'd actually play in a game? Would it actually be a good team in a game?
I have a feeling like in a game, I think some things wouldn't work. I don't think and that's the thing, is it just like your favourite 11 or is it, like you say, thinking about how they would actually play? I don't think they've thought it through that much.
Because it was a 4-3-3, right? And it was Kimmich, De Bruyne and Thiago in midfield.
Yeah.
Müller doesn't replace them because he's not a central midfielder. Müller doesn't replace Messi or Ronaldo on the wings, and he doesn't replace Lewandowski as a striker. Basically, the FIFA team of the season didn't have a number 10 role, so Müller didn't get in. But then are we actually talking about if
maybe there needs to be different formations?
Yeah, oh man. Actually, I saw this when they were like, oh, it's the team of the season in a 4-3-3. I was like, well, you might actually be onto something here. Does that screw over every number 10 in football? Because there's no number 10 on the team of the year.
We need to investigate
We do need to investigate, right. Let us know what you think, of course. Next up, Taeyu Quinn Jensen student has said, should Eriksen move for PSG? I think it means maybe to PSG, or PSG move for Eriksen.
A bit weird in my opinion, to be honest. I think things have not worked out in Italy. Why would it work out at PSG? I think they're good without him. I mean, if he can get the move, then good for him. All for it for him. But for PSG, I think there are better players that they could go for if they needed somebody.
He's just another one who would help them win the league.
Yeah.
And he's not going to do it. He's not going to be better than what they've got.
No.
Yeah. Not behind that.
No. Okay, so next up, this is from Giannis Galanos. A question that must be answered. Where was the Q&A this whole time?
We got a lot of this from a lot of you. We were just resting the Q&A. It will be making a comeback at various points. The same with TFW. Yeah, that's pretty much the reason. Just to change things up, bring some new content, some new format to you guys. As well as this with the Q&A, I feel like sometimes the questions were quite similar at stages. Yeah. So yeah, we'd ask you to check out loads of the content that we've got on OneFootball. Like, aside from the Q&A, there's lots of other stuff. I believe with this next one, because Oren Kalmek has said, which signings do you think can help turn Arsenal's season? Or is it already too late this season?
Well, I think considering Arsenal, I feel like we have discussed Arsenal quite recently.
We have. I discussed Arsenal in an exact video titled The Transfer Decisions for Arsenal in January. So yes, if you're wondering where the Q&A has been, sometimes, guys, we don't need to do a Q&A to answer your questions, so here, check out that Arsenal video and loads of the other stuff we're doing, but the Q&A will be making some returns. Sorry, Oren.
Okay, next question. Do you think the England football team would be a strong force and win the World Cup after Brexit? Because per the transfer policy, many English youngsters may get the chance to shine in domestic leagues and major tournaments. England winning the World Cup, that would be... I can't even get myself excited about that because we've been let down so many times. I can't put myself through that emotionally.
I can't fathom it. Do you think English chances get a chance to shine in domestic leagues and major tournaments? You would think so.
Yeah.
You would think that English players get the chance, but I would then argue that English players, because teams are picking up talent not just from England, from all around the world at the moment, you're bringing through a new level of youngster that kind of has to compete with more than just the local English talents. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to think of, obviously it changes from the small teams to the bigger teams, but Mason Greenwood, for example, if he's playing against a smaller selection of people in the academy, right, he hasn't got that many people to beat, or he doesn't have to be that good. But to come through United's academy, who are sourcing talent from all over the world, finding the best players from all over the world, surely that's only going to raise Greenwood's game, or he's going to fall. And obviously he's raised it enough to be into the first team, and he's a phenomenal player.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag with that one, because it's like, on one hand, I think it is always great when you do see an English young star coming through, and I think that does still happen. We do still see it, 100%.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, you cannot take away what foreign players also bring to the game. I mean, foreign players come into, the English leagues. It changed football completely. So it's one of those. I think there's got to be a happy medium somewhere.
There is a medium, but I also wouldn't say that England are a million miles away from the World Cup. Something you may disagree.
No,
I also wouldn't.
I just can't get myself too excited about it.
Yeah.
In my heart, I am willing England to win the World Cup. I mean, but I can't allow myself to feel it, because I'll get hurt, and I can't deal with it.
Like, in terms of youngsters shining, England have some of the best and most expensive is, apparently there's an English tax. England have some of the best and most exciting youngsters and players, and most expensive players, who are doing well in the European stage, maybe not last season, but certainly the season before. It didn't take Brexit to, look at the front three of like Sterling, Sancho, Kane, obviously Rashford's there, Greenwood. These guys are insanely talented, regardless of whether or not they'd be playing,
the Euros will be a big test.
Yeah, it'll be a big test. Anyway, moving on from Ariane Sarafa says, is Benzema the best striker ever?
The best French striker.
The best French striker ever. Zinedine Zidane said yes the other day.
I mean, if Zidane's saying it, then you automatically would believe it, because he's one of the best players for France in general. But I don't know, the bias in me. My heart is with Cantona, but obviously you've got Thierry Henry as well. But I think there's definitely a good argument. I mean, he's one of these players that he seems to have just been around for ages. And I think when he first came to Real Madrid, he wasn't necessarily setting the world alight. Obviously, Ronaldo was there and whatnot. But I root for him because he's bided his time. He's been a little bit patient, and then when the stage has been ready for him, he has just absolutely took it and ran. And you know what? Good for him. Yeah.
I think when you add the word French, you automatically think of the French national team, and because Benzema's not been in it for years because of
some shady stuff,
then you kind of rule him out, which is a bit unfair to his, because then you automatically think Henry is the highest goal scorer of all time, I believe, Thierry Henry, then followed by Olivier Giroud now, which is wild. Contributions to the French national team, Benzema's way down. Yeah. But contributions just as a striker in general,
Fantastic.
11 seasons at Real Madrid, Zidane's made a fair argument there.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so next up, this is from Duran. With so many surprises in the leagues, do you think the same can happen in the Champions League, like a first-time Champions League winner?
That's a good question.
I'd love to see it.
You would. I'm trying to think of who's left to be a first-time winner. Yeah, there's quite a few teams.
Yeah.
Sevilla would be a first-time winner of the Champions League. Atalanta as well.
City.
Manchester City. Yeah, City are probably the biggest without it.
I mean, I guess the thing about the Champions League is maybe more so last season because it was only one leg.
That's the thing, yeah.
Even over two legs, things can happen that you don't expect to happen. Sometimes it can just be one goal, 1 minute of a football game that completely changes. And sometimes we've seen it year in, year out. Teams do slip up, but that's probably more like in group stages, last 16, getting through to those next rounds. As you whittle it down towards the semi-finals, people don't tend to slip up,
Exactly,
do they?
and the quality shows through. Like,
That's
you
it.
can get through one round. Like, I'm trying to think, something like Atalanta against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
That could be a big surprise. Atalanta could go through and you'd be like, wow, that's absolutely nuts. They're going to go on and do it. Like they made it to the quarters last year before there's the PSG. Then you just think, how many big opponents do Atalanta come across and they make it through? Sooner rather than later, the quality is going to show. And that's why the top teams are always there towards the end of the competition. Yeah, like you said, last season with the one-off games, yes. And I think that's why we saw Leipzig make it to the semi-final, PSG make it to the final. A surprise. It depends what you define as a surprise.
True.
But no, I don't think so. Would PSG be a surprise?
Well, no, because they spent that much money. They should be winning it.
And they got to the final last year.
Yeah.
But then they'd be a first-time winner, so technically...
Oh, this is confusing.
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I can't see it happening. I still think Bayern are my favourites. But, yeah. Is it me next?
Yeah.
Chris Matt has said, what's your opinion on Pochettino becoming the Dortmund manager? Do you think there is another alternative?
Oh, I think...
For Poch or for Dortmund?
This is... I don't know, this is a tough one because I guess you've got to see what this interim manager, obviously he's one of the coaches anyway, isn't he? What he brings to the table. It could be, I won't say like a Solskjaer thing of somebody who's like been around the club before and they just like managed to get the job because of a few good performances, because Solskjaer's really not a good example. But yeah, I guess you've got to see what he brings to the table. I think Pochettino, he has proven himself with Spurs. I guess the difference is, and I think you've touched on this before, Spurs was not maybe the best team and he made them into a very, very good team.
Spurs were a project.
Yeah, it was a project. A Dortmund looking for a project kind of vibe, do they not just want somebody that can kind of hit the ground running and get them the results that they need? And that's where I'm a little bit concerned. But I do think that he's proven himself enough in the past that he deserves to have a job like that and see what he does with it.
See, I think Poch is holding out for United.
The fact that he's not been employed yet, because people will have been to him. There will have been
he's even
discussions.
said he's had offers.
So yeah, maybe he is.
Man United, PSG, if things go bad for Tuchel, or Real Madrid, although at the moment things are going okay for Real.
Yeah.
I think Pochettino would rather hold out for those three. Even though, who's the most likely to get fired out of them? Maybe Solskjaer?
Probably.
Maybe. He would still hold out.
That's more of a project vibe as well, because he's coming in as they're attempting this whole project thing at the minute.
I mean, look, for Dortmund, you're straight away, you walk into the job and you are tasked with taking down Bayern Munich.
There will be a lot of expectation.
Yeah, they're already at the top of the game. I think that Marco Rose, the Gladbach manager, is the favourite.
Yeah.
So I've heard for next summer. But yeah, like you said, I'm not sure this coach will be a long-term thing. I think it's more interim.
Okay, so next question is from Karthik Rao. Matt, will you celebrate if Arsenal do end up getting relegated? Tell the truth.
Tell the truth a little bit. First off, Arsenal aren't getting relegated.
No.
They are, as much as they're having a poor season, they are far too good to go down. They've got some quality players. I'd be absolutely amazed if they didn't finish top 10.
Same.
Even after the poor start. I'd be amazed if they didn't finish top 10. It's kind of an interesting one because football, for me and obviously for loads of fans, the rivalry games are the best.
Yeah.
Like the derby matches we look forward to. Like I don't look forward to, no disrespect to the following teams, West Brom, Fulham, Newcastle, Brighton, those games. They're good games and the chances of Spurs winning are higher. But the derby games are what you live for.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't have them in the league.
It's like with Leeds coming back from Man United.
Exactly.
Because really, Liverpool's always a rivalry, but really we've just got City, so Leeds is the next biggest rivalry. So.
And you love to see it.
Yeah.
You love these games. And obviously Spurs will still have Chelsea and West Ham and every other London club and this and that, whatever. But it's just, I'd laugh at it for a bit, but I would miss Arsenal.
Yeah.
I would miss the rivalry in the games because as a player as well, I talk about, it's what you live for.
Yeah.
As a player and a fan. Next up, Optimus Primo said, do you think fan channels such as AFTV, Blue Fans TV have a negative effect on a team's performance or a club's image?
Okay, so a team's performance, this to me is saying that team members are watching these channels.
Yeah.
What are they doing watching these channels, number one? They should be, in the gym, training, focusing on a game ahead. I don't want them watching fan channels. They've not got time for that. Watch a film or something. Like, so for me,
watch one of our videos.
Yeah,
instead.
watch one of our videos. A negative effect on a team's performance. I guess not actually thinking of the team, but fans around the team. Then maybe, because there are certain channels that can bring on a bit of like a Debbie Downer kind of vibe, and they can help, well, not help, but they get fans to kind of spiral a little bit and get them riled up and stuff like that. Yeah, a club's image, I think it depends how closely the fan channel works with the club, I guess, but it's a tough one.
Well, that's the thing. I think something like AFTV, who do some really cool stuff, they had to like distance themselves from the club. They're not like part of the club. It is the fans.
But then at the same time, you know, there are certain situations where it allows fans to actually express themselves.
But the thing is, that is exactly the point. But that's nothing new. I mean, okay, take away the fact that there are no fans in the stadium. What's the difference between, let's say, take an Arsenal player. You go online and you watch a video of a guy who's, you know, talking smack about you. There's 60,000 of them in the stadium doing that. Not every week, unless you pay badly. But this kind of social media feedback is different because social media has changed how football fans talk. But they're still there.
There's always
every week.
Criticism.
There's always criticism. Like, if you're a footballer and you don't watch one of these channels, you're still aware, A, from the booing every week in the stadium, and when there are fans, and B, from newspapers and general media. Like, I don't know. Do you think someone would be so disheartened if they heard some random guy saying, "Oh, you know,
this is the thing,"
football.
And that's the way that you've got to deal with it. Is that you think, I don't really know this person. Like, I don't
They're
really.
not qualified to have an opinion.
Exactly. And I also think, like, with fan channels, like, we have seen, you know, some amazing personalities. I mean, imagine life without Andy Tate.
Oh.
Hello. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there are some things to be really grateful for with fan channels. So
I'm all for fans giving their opinion because you can do it whenever you like. You can do it in the stadium, you do it with your mates, you pay your ticket, you know, have an opinion. There's a line as well. And I
think providing people are aware of the line, and that's just like having like moral understanding.
Exactly, and when you cross the line, it comes to like abuse or threats and stuff like that.
And I think people are getting more aware of that.
Yeah, but then you're not a fan if you do that stuff.
I agree.
So why you want a fan TV channel? But certainly those guys, like AFTV, Blue Fans, all the other ones, I think, they give birth to some good characters and they invite discussion around the game that everybody loves. And
it's a way for people to get involved. It's like a community, almost, you know, like we're not a fan channel, but like with OneFootball, it's a community of people sharing something that they love.
And like not all of us can be at the stadium every week.
Of course.
Without Corona. So, I don't know. I don't think they would take it too seriously. No. I'm hoping they wouldn't anyway.
Okay, so next one is from Han Solo. What's your opinion on Star Wars?
Now we've got to the fun questions. Han Solo is like secretly asking what opinion on Star Wars. Have you seen them all?
I'll be honest. Don't think I've watched one.
I've watched one. This is people are going to
People are going to hate us.
All I know is that it goes in order of like 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3 or something like that. And then Disney did some. And then, what's your opinion on Star Wars? It's obviously good.
Yeah, it must be good because people watch it and it's talked about a lot. I'm not really a sci-fi kind of gal, that's all. No hate on it. Maybe, you know, this period now between Christmas and New Year when no one really knows what day it is and stuff like that, maybe I'll find time to try and watch it. I'll be honest, I probably won't.
You do that and you come back and give us a report.
Yeah.
I don't really have an opinion. It's obviously amazing if it's that successful.
And if you enjoy it, good for you.
Good for you, yeah. I'm indifferent.
Yeah.
That's a coward's way out. Callum Music says, what's your favourite Christmas song?
Oh my God, there are so many. I'm thinking about my Christmas playlist. You know what?
You're going to go real basic here, aren't you?
I am impartial to a bit of Shakin' Stevens.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That is, I'll be honest. I mean, you can think like Destiny's Child did a very good one. Of course, Mariah Carey, everyone lives for that song. But, dunno, when the beat drops in Shakin' Stevens, it's a vibe, let me tell you. And if you haven't heard it, go and listen to it, because it's great.
I'm going to say Last Christmas by Wham.
Very good one.
Just because George Michael's just the best.
Yeah.
And that should be made into a meme and come back to haunt me. Just me saying George Michael's the best. But seriously, that's a great tune.
Yeah.
Do you listen to Christmas tunes at any other time of the year?
No,
That should be
you've got to
banned.
wait until December 1st.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. It's like watching Love Actually in the summer. What are you
no,
doing?
wrong. Very wrong.
Dude, you guys are learning valuable life lessons
Yes.
here.
Okay, our final question is from Big Buster Brown, and it simply says, Brussels sprouts, question mark.
Yes.
Yes, 1,000 times
Really?
yes.
I thought you'd be no.
No, I am here for Brussels
my
sprouts.
God. Oh,
Not
okay.
just on a Christmas dinner, but just like normal meals
Yeah.
that you can have, like some roasted vegetables. Throw in some sprouts, why not?
I'm here for them.
I'm
Not as
glad
a
that we
kid.
agree on this. With maturity, you grow to love them. Yeah.
I honestly don't, I'm not even sure if they're called Brussels sprouts outside of the English language. I know they're originally from the Mediterranean, and then they were popular in Brussels, so they got the name. But they're like this small cabbage thing, if no one knows what they are. I'm sure it's got a different name. I'll take them with my Christmas dinner.
Me too.
Absolutely. Right. And that is it from our Q&A Christmas special. As always, thank you so much for all of your questions. Have a great Christmas, great happy holidays, everything. And myself and Angelina. Myself and Angelina will see you guys next time.